Good evening, namaste. Welcome back to another episode of Kaapi with Kudpi. I am Kudpi Raj, Kudpi Rajnikant Shanai. And here we have a guest. He is a good friend of mine. His name is Mahesh Nayak. And Mahesh Nayak is the editor of Mangalore Today monthly magazine. And he is not just a journalist. He is into so many activities which he is going to tell himself. I am not going to ask him questions again and again. I am sure he will brief about all his interests, all his hobbies, all his passions, what all he has gone through in life, what he is doing right now, and what are his future plans. I and Mahesh both converse in our GSB Konkani language at home. So I will start the show in Konkani. Then we will continue in English because he is a good orator. He has been a member of Toastmasters Club Mangalore and he has been MC in many functions. I need not go and stressing on that. You will understand the way he talks, the way he explains things. I am sure you will be delighted to listen to him. So, Mahesh, आमगेल Kaapi with Kudpi show का स्वागत है सर. Kaapi with Kudpi तो पढ़ो नाशा पूरा. आमगेल कसं हमारी एक सिंपल गरकड केलं खाणं, एक स्वीट आणि एक तिखशी खाणं, मागीर एक गरकड केलं फिल्टर कापी. ते कथाची पित्ताची आमगेल संवाद करचे, मन आयलं उलोवचें, कसलें जाता स्पॉन्टेनियसली उलोवचें. आनी पुरा हांव कशी म्हळ्यार लायफान तूं कोण एचिवर्स आसा, साधक आसाची तांकां पोनो आनी म्हाका कोण आत्मीय आसाची आतां तुगेला म्हणके. सो आमी एक नमुने परस्पर कसं मारी ब्रदर्स इन आमचे आशिल्ले. आमी मस्त पुरो कारबार ओटो केला आनी तूं म्हाका मस्त हेल्प केला. सो तशीची मेगेले ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ एक्सपेरिमेंटाक गिनी पीक जाला तो फूड एक्सपेरिमेंटाक. आनी कसं कसं की विचित्र इन्ग्रिडियंट्स घेवन येयला तूं हांव लायफा पळयना नातिलें. तशें न्हू म्हाका एक नमुने तुगेलें बारीक हें अशें स्पेशल मोगसो तशें सांगून तुका आज इनवायट केला. आमगेलें कसं की स्पेशल हांव सांगता सुरे काण कसं म्हणून हें एक स्वीट हें कसं म्हळ्यार हाका दम रोट म्हणटाची. दमका रोट म्हणून एक कराची आनी आसा पळय सिंधीस तांगेलें एक हें आसा स्वीट. तें कसं म्हळ्यार बेक्ड स्वीट तें ताका तांणी सॅमोलिना केक म्हणून करताची बेक्ड. बट हांगा बँगलोरान तूं हें तांणी इम्प्रोवायज कर न्हू ताका ग्रेटेड हें घाल न्हू कुवाळें. एक नमुने आमगेलें काशी हलवा न्ही सपात आसा पळय, सपात म्हणून देवस्थानान दिता पळय ताजी एक नमुने ब्लेंडशें. बळेपेटे उडपी कृष्ण भवन म्हणून आसा बँगलोरान तूं तांणी फॅन्टास्टीक करताची प्रिपरेशन. मेगेल लागीं लागीं आसा तूं बळेपेटे कृष्ण भवनाची केल्यार सादारण तशी आसा कुडपी म्हणून पुरो मेगे लागीं. सो एक मेगेल प्रयत्न मस्त बरो साकून करता आसा हांवें. म्हाका एक बारी प्रिती मेगेल पर्सनल फेवरेट आनी मस्त गोड करनाचें आमी. तशें हांव भिवू नाका म्हाका गोत तूं स्वीट आनी थोडें दूर तुका. सो तशें हांव कोणाकय वताय करना. एवरीबडी इज ऑन डायट. आनीक नेक्स्ट तिखशे आयटम कसो मारी हें गोतोच तुका हें चोले भटुरा म्हणटाची. दीस इज हें आमगेलें नॉर्थ इंडियन स्पेशल तांगेलें ब्रेकफास्ट स्टेपल हें चणा भटुरा म्हणून हांगा विकताची हॉटलान तूं. चोले भटुरा म्हणून ते नॉर्थ इंडिया बारी फेमस. सादारण म्हणटा आमी पुरी भाजी केल्या म्हणजे तांगे स्टेपल. सो ताजे हटू ते भटुरा हटू हे चोले चणा मसाला हें गरकडे केलें जालें ना. सो कितली जावं तितली खावेत अशें. फस्ट तुका हांव आय विल गिव यू अ स्वीट हें चिके चड हें आशिल्लें ड्राय फ्रुट्स आशिल्ले दिता तुका. सो हें स्वीट मागीर थोडेची हें करी चणा मसाला थोडे घालता मागीर वापस घेव येता. यू कॅन हॅव सेकंड थर्ड सर्वींग. मागीर एक मिरसांग हें मस्त तीख ना हें मिरसांग समेत खाव येता. आनी ताका कसं म्हळ्यार युजली ताका कवची कशी म्हळ्यार ताजे वेरी हें घाल न्हू थोडेची चॉप्ड ऑनियन तें घाल न्हू. मागीर थोडेची कोथंबरी पल्लो हें तांगेलें तें चाटवाला तांणी परत दिवचें नमुनो. मागीर एक लिंबी तूं पिळून घेवं जावं जारी नाका म्हणून जारी तूं एवॉयड करी पक्कन मस्त आमची जातात म्हणून दिसल्यार. आनी हें भटुरो बटुरा कितले जावं तितले काड येता सद्या एक फर्स्ट हांव एक घालता मागीर खाता वच येता एका पाटी ओवरलोड करनाका प्लेट तशें न्हू स्टार्ट कर येता खावचें बकऱ्याक कुका म्हणटा स्पून पळय तें स्पून ताजे खातीर दवरला त्या स्विटा खातीर आनी पक्कन येता हें मिक्स करून घेवं जर चड न्हू तूं यूज कर येता स्पून
फॅन्टास्टीक सादारण सपत शें आसा चड
तें सांगिलां हांवें ते चपाताचे फ्लेवर म्हळ्यार ही ताका एडिबल कॅम्फर आमी पाचीकरपूर म्हणटा पळय तें घालताची तशें न्हू एक नमुने ताजे परंबळू दॅट इज द फ्लेवरींग बळेपेट उडपी कृष्ण भवन हांव स्पेशल तें बेंगलोरा मस्त कडेन मेळटा बट बाकी कडेन कशें करता म्हळ्यार ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ कडेन सॅफ्रन फ्लेवर घालताची आनी कडेन आनीक हांव तें येळ आनी हें घाला ताका
सो मग तूप घालता की म्हणून
पळय तूप आनी हें आसता तूं खोवा बरें तूप न्हय सो दमरोट
खोवा म्हळ्यार कसो न्हय
खोवा म्हळ्यार मिल्क सॉलिड्स मावा म्हणटा पळय दूद हाडटा न्हू
तांतू
हें होम मेड खोवा आशिल्लो तें घाला सो यू लायक इट न्हू कुशल न्हू
फॅन्टास्टीक फर्स्ट टायम हांव पळोवचें
ओके
म्हाका आयकय न्ही हांव
So Mahesh, talking about your parents, your hometown, where you are born. I know where you are born, in Mangalore, in Dongarkeri. So the most famous area of Mangalore, where GSBs live. So you are born there and lived among the GSBs and seen our culture at the closest. And had a taste of GSB food, the authentic traditional food I can say. And you have introduced so many traditional foods to me, which I never knew in my life, never seen in my life. So tell me something about your early life, your birth, your parents, then your schooling, primary schooling, middle school, high school, up to college you can tell me. Then after that we'll continue that. As we eat, we continue.
Okay.
We need not stop eating. And coffee will come in a little while. Snack is served. Be my guest.
So thank you, Kudpi mom. Yeah, तुगेले प्रेस्टिजियस प्रोग्रामाक आपयले हांव फुडली पळयलें तुगेलें मस्त कॉफी विथ कुडपी प्रोग्राम व्हडले दिग्गजार पुरो आसता तांगेलो मॅच केल्यार हांव तितले कसो इंटरव्यू कर तितलो व्हड मनीस कांय न्हय वेन एवर यू हॅव डन समथींग गुड you have remembered me and dropped in, whether it is fish or chicken or even vegetable dishes. Tashi makbari to coffee with Kudpi includes a proper snack and coffee म्हणता ना म्हाका बारी आसजेल ते शायला
बरें तूं न्हय तुका लांब कितले फुड्डी आनी कितले लायक कुक म्हण म्हाका तसो सो तिगेलो ओपिनियन घेवचे खातीर हांव एक दोन फावटी तुका लागे स्पेशल इट मॅटर्स अ लॉट टू मी इता म्हळ्यार तिगेल तितली जोवियल पर्सन हांव लायफा पळयनी अमंग विमेन मेगेल आम्मा जोवियल आशिल्ली तिगेला पयस 10 म्हणटा जोवियल आसा आनी बारी जोवियल मात न्ही काबील आसा काबील म्हळ्यार एबल सो मेनी थिंग्स सो यू हॅड ए वंडरफूल अर्ली लायफ आय एम शुअर युअर चायल्डहूड तुवें पेरंट्स दोग जाण बारी हें म्हण आयकलां हांव कित्याक म्हळ्यार तुवें जी हे बरें एक्सप्लेन केलां तुका ल्हान कशें आशिल्लो तसो न्हय ताका बिजनस आशिल्लो तुमगे ल्हान नाल्यार
एज यू सेड हांव माय चायल्डहूड वॉज स्पेंट इन डोंगरकेरी म्हळ्यार कोड्यालान तूं सादारण आमगेले GSB कम्युनिटीन तूं इट इज द हॅपनिंग प्लेस दोज डेज
वय
सो थंय एक व्हेरी ओल्ड हेरिटेज हाऊस आसा आतां आसता नियरली मोर देन 150 इयर्स आसता कट्टेद्राक ते नागा कट्टेद्राक I was born in 1968 March 2 Miguel actually James Bond Daniel Craig asno tagel birthday ni Miguel same he is a brother from another mother monche
but I think people call you Sherlock Holmes right
I just told for fun my personal favorite is Sherlock Holmes character fictional character तशी त्या घर कडेन तेदन फुडली काला कशी म्हळ्यार हॉस्पिटला डिलिव्हरी न्हय होम डिलिव्हरी चेडूं घर कडेन हाडून पावयता आशिल्ले द गॉड्स यूज टू send them maybe on a stork I don't know how but I was born inside that house one of the rooms in that house तशी mine was the last home delivery ते मागीर भयण्यान जातना it was in a hospital, proper hospital. That
So
culture had come
who
in.
was the eldest among?
Yeah, आम्ही 4 जण चेडू तंतू मलगड मिगलाक होडकलो मनोहर म्हण आशिल्लो. Unfortunately he is no more. Few years back he passed away, but he is 6 years older to me and हांव सेकंड. तशें आमगेले नंतर म्हाका 2 भयणी आसात. भयणी तांणी ट्विन्स, तांणी buy one get one free.
Okay.
दोग जाण ओटूच जन्म आयिल्ले.
Okay.
And मेरे पेरेंट्स कशें म्हणल्यार my father was Vaman Naik म्हणून. He was a businessman. तागेल गांव बोविकान म्हणून कासरगोडाले. It's a small village about 16 kilometers from Kasargod. थंय तांगेले आमगेले मालगडाल घराणी आशिल्ली थंय. So it was quite a well-known family in that area. तांकां एरेकनट फार्म आनी पळय आशिल्लें. तशी मे ल्हान बट ते फार्मान रब्ब न्ही. ही केम टू Mangalore PU हांगा गव्हर्मेंट कॉलेज शिकून CPC तदन बारी फेमस आशिल्लें. सो तांचो मॅनेजर जावन मडिकेरींत काम करता आशिल्लो. तशें मे लाज्जो अम्माल सायडाच्यो तो सुरतकलकारू बट बंदरार बिझनेस करनाशिल्लो. एरेकनट होलसेल बिझनेस ताका. तशी
सुरतकल देवराय कामात.
देवराय कामात म्हणून वय मेल बोविकान नारायण नाईक मेल अन्नाला न्हू अम्माला न्हू सुरतकल देवराय कामात. ही वॉज व्हेरी वेल नोन पर्सन इन द कम्युनिटी.
म्हळ्यार तुगेलो माम म्हाका गोतोस डॉक्टर न्हू आतां यू
एकलो डॉक्टर वासुदेव कामत म्हणून जगमोहन म्हणजे
वय ही वॉज माय ब्रदर कृष्णकांत क्लासमेट सेंट अलोशियसान तूं PUCन तूं आनी मैसूर मेडिकल कॉलेज.
हां वय ताणें मेडिकल केलें.
ताणें ओटू MBBS शिकिल्ला. They are good friends. Still you want
आयला तो. He is now presently in Mangalore.
Okay.
तशी
तो येता आशिल्लो आमगे ते येता आशिल्लो.
कसं जालें म्हळ्यार मेल अन्नाल तर्फेन ते एरेकनट्स विकच्याक कोड्याला येवगात. देर वॉज नो मार्केट. Mangalore वॉज द मेन हब. भायर रूरल एरियासान तूं हिंटरलँडा कसा केल्यार हांगा येवन विकूंक. सो दे यूज टू कम ते मानतनी पुराय येता आशिल्ले ते एरेकनट प्रोड्यूस काणू मे लाज्जाल बन्सोड विकच्या. सो दे हॅड सम कायंड ऑफ कॉन्टॅक्ट. तशी वड्डल चेल्लास म्हणून कोळ न्हू सम सोयरीक जालें ते. तशें तेंगेले व्हडलीक जालें. तेज नंतर मेले आम्मो आनी आनू मडिकेरी एट द टायम आशिल्ल्याची. CPC वॉज अ मेजर ट्रान्सपोर्ट कंपनी. गुड्स ट्रान्सपोर्ट ट्रक आनी पळय. सो ही बिकेम एक्वेंटेड विथ दॅट फील्ड. तशी एक येदे वर्स नंतर ही क्विट दॅट जॉब आनी कोड्याला येवन ऑटोमोबाईल स्पेअर पार्ट्स शॉप स्टार्ट केलें. 1960s तूं स्टार्ट केलें. 1960 or 61 नायक्स ऑटोमोबाईल्स स्टार्ट केलें. तशी ही बिकेम अ बिझनेसमॅन आफ्टर दॅट अँड सेटल डावन इन Mangalore. कडेन बिझनेस बारी सक्सेसफूल जालो तो. तदनंतर 2-3 वर्कशॉपांनी पळय गेले. तशीच एक डिझेल पंप रिकंडिशन करचे एक बिझनेस स्टार्ट केलो. प्रख्यात डिझेल्स आनी प्रख्यात इंजिनियरींग वर्क्स म्हणून. तशीच कासरगोड तागेले नेटिव्ह प्लेस बोविकान आशिल्लो. ताजी कशें की रिलेशनशिपार कासरगोडान तो एक स्टार्ट केलें इंजिनियरींग वर्कशॉप. तशें जावन बिझनेस मुखारचे मुखार. बट अनफॉर्च्युनेटली 1978 म्हणटाना there was a big tragedy. मेले हांव 10 years तेन्ना आनी मेले अण्णाक 16 आशिल्ले भयण्याक 5 वर्स आशिल्ले. सो एक दीस कसो जालें म्हळ्यार हांव रोटरी क्लबांत बारी एक्टीव आशिल्लो. तेच कशें की एक रोटरी गव्हर्नर्स विजीट केशिल्ली. तो सेक्रेटरी आशिल्लो. सो ही गॉट अप अर्ली टू रिसीव द गव्हर्नर. सो सकाळीं 5 घंटाकी उठान ही हॅड टू गो आउट अँड प्रिवियस डे देर वॉज अ स्टॉर्म. And there was an electric high tension wire passing over the house. So त्या खंयकी एक रुक्काक लागून कट्ट जावन पोण आशिल्लें तें भायर घरा कॉम्पाउंड. एक्सिडेंटली ताणें तें भायर वतना आपडलें तें वायर. आपूण ही डायड ऑन द स्पॉट. तशी पोटारी गेलो तो. आमगे 45 years. Fortunately my brother saw the wire in his hand. ते डार्क आशिल्लें. कळना अशें आपडल्यार रे एक जणांक एकल्या एकला लागून बिगर ट्रॅजेडी वूड हॅव टेकन. देन माय ब्रदर क्विट हिज स्टडीज. ते PUC राबयले बिकॉज बिझनेस वॉज डुईंग व्हेरी वेल. तशी ताणें तें राबोवन हांगा रन करूंक आनी आमकां पळय ही एक्चुअली ब्रॉट अस अप. ब्रदर वॉज द वन हू ब्रॉट मी अँड माय सिस्टर्स. बट द वर्कशॉप्स आशिल्ले आमकां ते एक पार्टनर आशिल्ले फुडें. सो दॅट विदीन एन इयर ते कशें की स्प्लीट जालें. तशें तेतांनी पार्टनर्सान दवरलें आनी अण्णाकय रेस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ती नाका म्हणून घरकड डिसायड केलें. ही वॉज टू यंग टू रन सच ए बिग बिझनेस. तशें तांणी पार्टनर्सान दवरलें आनी माय ब्रदर कंटिन्यूड द बिझनेस.
So your mother Vatsala Nayak.
Yeah, she continued the home domestic.
She was a housewife all the time.
Always.
She didn't work.
काही काम केलं.
Okay.
मागीर आनी एक इम्पॉर्टंट म्हळ्यार डोंगरकेरीन तूं आम्मेक ते compound life आशिल्ली DV Pais compound सगळं घर आशिल्लें and about half of them were relatives आणि ते सगळे came into many people were my relatives because my grandfather's family was quite large आणि ते साधारण हांव म्हणचे 7-8 family पुणी down along the street they were either relatives or very old neighbors.
काण खाता बेता कॉफी येतस
I like that चना बटू
so you liked it.
Okay, वर्त जल म्हाका.
Okay, you liked both the snacks. I'm very happy. And when a foodie appreciates, I feel so good, actually. So, तुमगेले childhood तशें आशिल्लें डोंगरकेरीन तूं. Then festivals and all.
डोंगरकेरीन तूं एक कसं म्हणत पूरा GSB फेस्टिवल्स टेम्पलाचे खंयचे तेरू खंयचे असले ते प्रोसेशन आमगेले घरा येतात 5 जाणांची दसरा. It was a happening place every year. थ्रूआउट द इयर एक्टिविटीज असतात आतां तशें ना ते फुडले तितले गलगल पुढे तें नांव आशिल्लें डोंगरकेरी गलगल म्हणटा आशिल्लें सो ऑल ऑफ अस चिल्ड्रन यूज टू कसं त्या टायपा लायफ मागीर आमकां मेळय न्ही घरा म्हाका कॅनरा स्कूल कॉम्पाउंड ते डोर उडल्यार स्कुलाक खेळत वी यूज टू हॅव कंटिन्युअस एक्टिविटीज एक दीस ते बोर जायनी इवन टुडे गोल्डन पीरियड ऑफ माय लायफ इज इन
मागीर कारशीट लागीं देखून पुराय मन फेस्टिवल
एक्टिविटीज मस्त आसता आशिल्ले एंड ऑल द पीपल वर फॅमिलियर I could walk into anybody's house किंवा निमून परमिशन घेवपाक मेळटा पुऱ्या जाणांक घर डोर वॉज ओपन तशें कॉलेज जायत तेन्ना फ्लॅट कल्चर सुरू जाला आमगेलें तें भाडं आशिल्लें घर तशी वी गॉट ए हावज हियर
सो राउंड अबाउट केन्ना
1988 डिग्री जाली करेक्ट आय स्टील रिमेंबर डोंगरकेरी एज द बेटर डेज आत्तां गंमत जाला लेडीला आमगेलो आतां येता एका फ्लॅट आशिल्लें आतां सगळे लोकॅलिटी मस्त घर पुरो जावन पडा आतां एक एसोसिएशन केला रोड जाता पुराय म्हापशी फ्लॅटाचे पुरो ओट्टू जावन एक ओटू इनॉग्रेशन कोण एक फंक्शन केलें सो सम कायंड ऑफ एक्टिविटीज देर आतां एक गूर एक जनाल मध्ये रिलेशनशिप्स पुरो सुरू जाला मे बी इव्हेंच्युअली I will get the same kind of life again here. Regarding schooling, right next to my house was Canara School. So Canara English medium school, there was a new school which they had started when I was 2 or 3 years old. And I was in, they admitted me there, the third batch or second or third batch of that school. 6th standard onwards, I shifted to Aloysius. Till degree, I continued there. So that was, I have experience in 2 schools. So Canara, I had one type of experience. I still have very good memories of that. It was right next to my house. The Krishna Mandir, there was a Mahatma Gandhi had come and laid the foundation for that building, 1933 or so, at that time. Even now that plaque is there. It's a historical place. So after that in Aloysius, it was more of a multicultural environment. And that opened a different world for me. So I like that fact that I could have the best of both worlds.
Filter coffee, homemade. I hope you like strong coffee.
Yeah, of course. Beautiful coffee. I always loved coffee. Right from my childhood, my preferred drink is coffee.
So your writing abilities and your oratory skills, did you develop in college? Then itself you are into sort of journalism?
Yes.
Because as far as I could recall, I remember having seen some pictures in your album about the caricature you drew, then some articles you wrote and
Yes.
published in the House
Well,
Journal.
the
and all
whole
that.
thing is, of course, this is a talent-based field, as you said, writing or drawing or whatever.
Copywriting.
Yeah, so all those have to be there in you at some point in early life. So I would definitely say that all these things you see now in me have been there right from my childhood.
And I think a part of it was inherited in the genes, because your dad was a good writer. That's what I heard.
Yeah, to
He
some
used to write letters very well.
Yeah, he's in fact he is one of my inspirations for all this. And moreover, the main thing is I have all my friends tell this, that among them I am the only person who has converted my hobbies into my profession. So whatever I'm doing now were originally my hobbies, and even now they are my hobbies. I enjoy what I'm
We
doing.
have something in common.
I have just capitalized on my.
We have something in
yes,
common.
I think we should have. We are in that way.
But mine was much later. After I worked
Yes,
in
you
bank
had
for 22
I've
years.
never had a proper
Because for
job.
a livelihood, I had to join the job. I lost my father when I was just out of college. So I had to do some job.
I've never had a proper job in my life, entire life. I've always been a freelancer.
Freelancer, okay. So you never...
Even now I don't have a
So
proper
you
job.
never worked for salary?
No, never. Maybe for a brief period, about 6 months or 1 year. I'll come to that later.
Okay.
I had some kind of professional relation. But
Okay.
otherwise, throughout my life, I've never been.
Okay.
And coming to the different talents, as you said, writing has always been one of my favorites. My father was very interested in public speaking, so he used to read a lot of books by Dale Carnegie, and I had a lot of books at home. He was very fond of reading books. He used to buy books by the dozen. So my house was full of books, and I used to read them. Among them, public speaking books I had read quite a lot. And he himself was interested in personality development, psychology, and all that. So he encouraged me to join public speaking club in school. So as soon as I joined Aloysius in 6th standard, in class they offered us to join different clubs. So he encouraged me to join the public speaking club. And in fact, he dictated to me the first speech that I wrote. The first speech I had to, I was chosen to make the speech in the school assembly. I have a copy of that still here. I can show you.
Oh, the manuscript you have still.
Yeah, I remember still on a Sunday evening, he dictated it to me. It's very fragile, I hope it won't tear. This is the first speech that he dictated to me, and introducing myself.
Okay.
So if I read that speech, you will see all the elements which Dale Carnegie tells. Start with the suspense.
Okay.
And here he describes the situation in which I was born. There was darkness around, and suddenly the child was crying. He dramatized it so that it created suspense.
Okay.
So Dale Carnegie's all those principles are all put in this speech. And I made that speech in the school assembly. And after that I used to take part in public speaking activities. And later on in college, when I joined in Aloysius College, there was an inter-college club called SOFA. That was, SOFA is not your sitting bench or anything. It is Student Orators Forum of Action.
Okay.
So it was an inter-college club meant for public speaking.
Okay.
So I joined that, and I was the president of that. We had students from all colleges of Mangalore. There were only 8 or 9 colleges at that time. And this is my certificate from that. They had a system that time in this club. That was the uniqueness of this club. They had a test at the public speaking competition at the end of the year. And if you were selected, you will get a certificate with your name also printed. They used to take a lot of trouble to print it.
Nice.
But nowadays you can print it easily because printers are available. Those days even the name printing was very difficult.
They had to go for the printing machine and do that.
It was a very laborious process. So to create that value for that certificate, they used to have that. So that was how I got into public speaking. And after that, after I finished college, I was missing all these intellectual activities. In SOFA and in college activities, we could go for speeches and so many activities, quizzes and so many other activities. I was very active in all these. So we started missing all that. And suddenly I heard that somebody invited me to join Toastmasters Club. There was one Mr. Max Skinner, a US-based NRI.
Okay.
He was a Toastmaster in the US.
Okay.
So he wanted to start a club in Mangalore. So he came down and he made some inquiries since I was in public speaking. So he called me and a few other people who are in public speaking, and we had an initial meeting with Max. So he still credits me, and he arranged a demo meeting where I became the first speaker. So even now he credits me with being the first speaker. They have never been too active after that. I've been a volunteer for activities, but as a speaker, there are other speakers who are much better in Toastmasters. Secondly, the Toastmasters movement took off much better after a few years when more mature members joined in. We were youngsters, we were enthusiastic, but we didn't have the
So when was this?
organizing skills to put it
Around
in
which
orbit.
year you joined?
This was in 1996 or so.
Okay.
Toastmasters came in,
Okay.
but we got chartered only in 2002 or so. About 5-6 years it took, that gestation, and all that the major improvements happened after other more mature members joined in who had.
So it is still active.
It is now very thriving.
Are you still in it?
I am still a member. Toastmasters is thriving now. There are more than 20 clubs in Mangalore. When we were there, it was only one club.
Yes.
And it's growing at a rapid pace. It's become really as well known as Rotary or Lions. It's an international club meant only for public speaking and leadership development.
Yeah.
There's no other activity for us. So public speaking, that was the track.
So that groomed you up still further.
As a public speaker. Then for writing, I always used to like write. I used to write for fun at home.
Okay.
I've got hundreds of articles, which most of the time it was parody just for my own cheap. I like drawing, so I joined BGM school for 2 months during vacation.
You had some training in.
No, 2 months I was there during the vacation. But
That
I
was
got
in
an idea.
Shediguda, the original one.
Shediguda, that beautiful old house. And I got an idea how to draw there. Though I didn't get trained beyond that, but I saw them doing how they'll compare proportions, how the shadings are done, what are the different things like Indian ink or materials that are used, color, canvas, all those things I got within that 2 months. So then after that I independently pursued it. But mostly what I liked was to do cartoons, because that was something I love being an entertainer. So these Phantom comics, Mandrake comics, and this R.K. Lakshman's cartoon, Mario Miranda, all those used to fascinate me. So I wanted to become a cartoonist. So I started drawing at home. And learned cartoon. We used to put those cartoons on the college notice board. I have quite a few here. See, these are some which came in my college notice board.
And Mad Magazine and all.
Mad Magazine.
Because this reminds me of Mad Magazine.
It is Sergio Aragonés style actually. That is Mad Magazine.
Yeah.
See, this is one more.
Yeah.
All these I had put in the school notice board.
Okay.
This is mostly inspired by Sergio Aragonés. Who used to do those marginal
I was reminded
mads.
of that.
Marginal mads. Where they don't talk much.
Yeah.
But I used to put all that. So and I contested for the Hindustan Times cartoon contest. Though I didn't get a prize. But 1 year where I contested, P. Muhammad got a prize. He is now a well-known cartoonist.
P. Muhammad, I know.
In Bangalore based.
Have your coffee. I think it's going to. There is more coffee you can have actually.
Yes. During my period of education, there were actually 3 or 4 very important influences which shaped me to what I am today. So one of them was in 1982 or 83, my 9th or 10th standard. My brother knew a person in Car Street. I used to draw and paint. So my brother said he's an artist. You go there and during the vacation and learn something from him. So I went there. And it was V.U. George. He had an ad agency. I think it was one of the first ad agencies in Mangalore. And he used to make creative ads. The designs were done in a more professional way. So I became exposed to the advertising industry, and in his studio. I went there to learn drawing, because an ad agency includes a lot of artists to draw.
But you are not interested in family business then?
No, my brother used to really insist that I come there and spend time in the family business. But it was a very mechanical with parts. I couldn't I needed some intellectual engagement. I don't think I found it there. But I spent a lot of my time in the shop. I still remember, I have very good memories. Felix Bay Bazaar was like Dongarkeri. It is the business counterpart of Dongarkeri. Lot of activities, lot of things.
So how long your brother ran the business?
He
After
ran
a-
it for nearly 14 years.
14 years,
Yeah,
okay.
he ran it. But after that, the automobile trade became highly competitive, and he found it difficult to
Because
maintain.
I think when I met him first in the late 1980s at Mangalore, he was the classmate of Kuladi Martupai,
Yeah,
right?
they were all classmates. All,
So,
they were all his
Kuladi
friends.
Martupai, I and Mahavir and all these friends used to meet in Manjarun every month.
Yes, that was his
So
favorite
during
haunt.
our party, we used to rent a room there and have the party there, drinks and food, and we had fun there. Till midnight they used to rent it out for concessional price. Then Manohar used to come and entertain us. He used to tell us jokes, you know.
Yeah, he was
used to
very
narrate,
good.
He used to narrate jokes, and we used to feel as if we are there. The way of narration.
He had a way of.
Yeah. So he was very good and he became very close to us then. Then every meeting of our friend circle, he was a common denominator. Like he used to be there. So that's how I came to know him. Later on, when I left the bank and started my profession, he was into designing and all these things. He was a copywriter, then ads he used to design. So for my office, the signboard, then stationery, everything I wanted a common design. So my friend Mahavir suggested, why don't you go ask Manohar Nayak? Manohar designed all those things for me. I started as kudpiraj.com, then I changed it to Kudpi Raj Multimedia. So everything, my signboard, even the office interiors,
I didn't know that.
office interiors, so all those ideas he had. So we correlated and did that. Some of my ideas worked with him. I gave suggestions, he gave me suggestions. So like, again, brothers in arms. We were like brothers in arms. So that was good. I didn't know you then.
Yeah, that,
So though I have seen you once or
I
twice.
knew many of his other friends.
Yeah.
They used to come home, but only you had not missed.
I think being a foodie, you came closer to me. So I came to know you sometime in 2010 or 2011.
Yeah, that was through Facebook.
Yeah.
In that Konkani Amchi
Yeah,
food
Konkani
group.
Amchi food group. I was active in that, and some discussions, some food related
Yeah, correct.
discussion.
I think we had some
about
chat
traditional food. Traditional food brought us nearer. Then we became friends. Then later I came to know that you are into designing, then copywriting. Then you are already editor of Mangalore Today, I think.
Yes.
Mangalore Today print.
So this George, that same person I spoke to you about, I learnt about advertising, and I learned there was a field called copywriting. You know, it's a specialized field. So after that, I began to absorb that field, seeing advertisements in papers and newspapers and ads. So slowly, I was getting mentally tuned into that. So in college and school and all, for all the posters and all, they used to come to me. So eventually I got into advertising field, copywriting especially at that stage. So this George person, what happened was in around 1997 or 8, he's an adventurous person. He had made a Malayalam movie and all that.
Oh.
So by then his ad agency is not doing well. He was more of an experimenter. He was not consistently, in one
Okay, you are
field.
not sticking to one field. Maybe a
So-
Rolling Stone.
No, but this one, Mangalore, he thought of starting a magazine called Mangalore Today. And he called me and he said, why don't you join my show? So actually it's a big misnomer that I'm a journalist. I'm basically a copywriter and content writer. That is my profession. As a journalist, I'm well known. I mean, it's a local magazine.
Okay.
It's more of a passion. I'm able to express what I want. So it's so George, and because it is George and I knew him well and I knew he will give the editorial freedom and all that, I joined with him and I'm still a part of the team. I used to be more involved earlier. Now my involvement is not as much as earlier. And I got involved, and now it is more than 26 years.
Oh.
It has run for quite a long time. You can, I think you have a copy here.
Yeah,
This in fact contains
in fact, you had published an article on my father,
Yes.
late Kudpi Raj.
Yes, exactly.
I had written the story, I think.
You had
The
written
story is
an
attributed to me, I think. So this is the article which was published then. So my name is there, yeah.
I only edited
you gave
it
credit
and
to me.
did the design also.
Yeah. So it was a good gesture actually. You did a good job then. And I should always thank you for that.
So when George started this magazine, he called me, and still I'm in the editorial team of this
This
magazine.
is Mangalore Today. He is the editor.
So basically, that is one growth. Then I told you 2-3 influences were there. One was George. I still consider him to be my mentor and guru as far as writing and journalism and advertising is concerned. I used to love going to a printing press to watch the mechanical movement. And I used to study a lot of magazines and newspapers, the layout, and it was a hobby for me. So when he started this Mangalore Today and said, why don't you join? It became very attractive to me. These were dreams in my mind, how to write for magazine and how to do design. I could do all those dreams in this magazine. So I've done many of those things which were in my back of my mind.
Okay.
It gave me an opportunity. So I got into that.
Okay.
Then in school, around 8th standard high school, that time I got introduced to UNESCO Club in Aloysius. Father Lawrence was the director of that.
Okay.
And eventually I became the president of UNESCO Club in 10th standard. So main thing was that UNESCO opened my eyes to universal culture. Even now my political ideals and my worldview is more in tune with UNO than in any other ideologies. I like the idea of universalism, that all people are equal. And mainly about the UNO, what I liked was, see, this is the UNESCO Courier, it was a magazine. I read one day one article. I saw this particular article. It was on human rights. This is it produced the entire universal declaration of human rights in this magazine. So then I came to know that there is something called Declaration of Human Rights, where the UNO has actually codified it. It's like almost like a law which defines what are the human rights and which all the member countries are expected to abide. They're all India is a signatory for this.
Okay.
So we cannot pass certain laws which contradict human rights.
Okay.
For example, nobody can arrest you and not produce you in a court.
So
That
these
is a
are
human right.
all the laws
Yeah.
they have made.
They have made a code of. It's a codified one.
Okay.
Then in college, I became influenced by one person called Professor Sanni Tharappan.
Yeah, Sunny Tharapan was our English lecturer.
Yeah, he was an English professor.
He taught me English, yeah.
So he was an exceptional orator, and he was the director of that SOFA. I told you about Student Orators Forum of Action.
Okay.
So I joined that SOFA and became a president eventually. It's an inter-college public speaking club. He used to conduct personality development workshops. So I became exposed to that. I was highly impressed by him. And his English was also very good. He was an English professor. So he was one of the reasons my writing talents came out.
Okay.
So I used to love English language more because of his teaching. And later, after finishing college, he started a organization called AIM Insights, where they would train people to conduct soft skills training.
Okay.
So I was there. So there, for a brief period of 1 year, he had just started it, and he wanted someone to help him. So about 1 year I was there. That is only a job I have taken where I was paid a salary.
Okay.
So there I spent few years. And that was one track which was highly influential.
He was also a wildlife enthusiast.
Yeah, he started the Mangalore Snake Park.
Yeah. You are also a wildlife.
I love wildlife. That was also from childhood I had a love for animals, especially cats. My favorite domestic animal is the cat. But I used to keep a lot of pets like squirrels. Even my sisters are fond of. They are majorly into cat and dog rescue in Bangalore. They are settled in Bangalore.
Sisters are both the artists.
No, one of my sisters is a painter. She used to do, but on and off. But they are both full-time into animal rescue and caring for sick animals, especially cats and dogs. Feeding street animals. But I always loved keeping pets. I used to have squirrel, pigeon, and many parrots and all that. But now I only keep a stray cat which comes at home. But I got interested in snake catching and in school. I went to Deer Park and learned from the snake catcher there. He trained me. One Gajendra, Irula. He is a tribal from Madras. He was the caretaker of the snakes. And he taught me a few things. So once or twice I've handled venomous cobras also. But I'm still scared of snakes. I wouldn't touch a venomous snake. It's very highly risky. But I rescue small snakes and all, and I release them. Mostly if they come inside the house. But I'm not much into it now. But at one point of time I was highly interested.
And you were or you are still into adventures like trekking and all that?
Yeah, that was one more. During my school days, college days, I became introduced to Ashok Vardhan of Atri Book Center. Ashok Vardhan used to go for trekking.
He had the Arohana group.
So a few times I've gone with him trekking into the jungle. I liked the idea of going into the jungle, climbing mountains.
And your photographer friend,
Rohit is more into that. He has been into the jungle. He has seen tigers in the wild. He has gone for tiger census. He is more into wildlife.
Some of the nice photos I've seen.
I've been on and off. Whenever I had time, I've gone with them. I accompanied them.
So you have got a lot of media friends because of your journalism. I think
but journalism was very exciting. What I like most is to write feature articles and interviews of people, profiles of people. I like things to do with people. M.V. Kamath I've interviewed. Then I've interviewed P.C. Swarkar, the magician. Then many more. I don't really keep a list, and I don't remember many things.
But that was before Mangalore Today or after?
No, it was all through Mangalore. Whatever journalism I've done through Mangalore Today. But since we are only a local magazine, if there's any important article or of public interest, I've shared it freely with journalistic friends. I've just shared it, and they have published it on their own.
What are the challenges you faced during your copywriting and advertising?
See, initially I was into a talent-based field, which was very raw. At that time, there were hardly any copywriters in Mangalore, and those who were good, Mangalore produces a lot of talent. But they are all people who go and settle down in Bangalore or Bombay, where there's good demand. It's a highly specialized field, and they don't get a good price and respectable living here. So most of them migrate to Dubai and get very good jobs, and very reputed people are there.
Good return for their work.
So here in Mangalore, that scope was not there. When I started, I had great difficulty earning money. I used to earn money from little from here, little from writing, little from making a speech somewhere, to taking a training program.
And I think
stabilized only in the last 15
there
20
are
years.
poor paymasters.
Many wouldn't. Many times I have put money from my pocket and not got paid for it.
That is the usual thing.
Those things were there. But eventually that market opened up. Today there is high value. People value you. People see you are a specialist and they respect you and they ask you and they think that you are you need to be paid. That respect has come. But that has happened only in the last 15 to 20 years. Then one more field I had interest in was science. I used to love making science models, astronomy. I have seen Saturn in a telescope from the school telescope. I used to be majorly into that, but now that has taken a backseat. I made a radio on my own, seeing an old circuit. It didn't work, but I tried it. So that was very interesting for me, having a scientific mind. And I began to question everything, and even religion and my religious philosophy, everything changed at that time. And I became a rationalist eventually. And my religious views and all are all rationalistic. And unless something is scientifically proven, I will not believe anything easily.
But I hope it's all your own observation.
No, I have not been influenced by anyone. It happened right now, maybe when I was 7, 8, 9 years, at a very young age.
Because even I was like that. I used to question people. Why should I do this? Why should I do that?
Even now, I have no quarrel with religion.
Though I enjoy the festivities, I don't pray, I don't worship, I don't indulge in all those things.
Yes, but I don't like superstition.
I don't stop anyone doing that.
No, I accept it. I have no quarrel with religion. I accept it as a cultural practice. I go for festivals. My fathers and brothers' death rituals, I do it. The family demands it, I do it. I have no quarrel with them. But I don't expect to go to heaven or anything. I have no belief in all that. I don't think I have a soul or anything. If you are dead, you are dead.
As long as we are not coming in anyone's way and stopping them from doing what they like. So it is like addiction.
Freedom of religion is
what
important.
I feel is religion is also kind of addiction. What I feel. Just like alcoholic addiction.
Our objection is mainly that you should not be exploited or having superstitious beliefs. If you have, many times we may need something for confidence. I have no issues.
Unassuming people should not be swindled in the name of
So that is what is objectionable. Beliefs anybody can have. You have a right to have a belief. I can have my beliefs. There's nothing wrong with that. So from primary school itself, I had become a rationalist, and I tried to be as scientific as possible. I need any good scientifically valid proof to believe anything. So my religious views, my political views, everything got tuned into that rational. And later on, when we had Mangalore Today, I became close to Professor Mahesh Nayak also. He is a rationalist president. And I used to even earlier admire his investigative.
We started the South Canada Rationalist Association together.
I used to admire it from a distance.
No, he was the reason for starting it, and we all were in it. We are in the same friend circle. We started it actually. Then first function was inviting Dr. Abraham Cover.
That was one of the triggering points. I was just developing doubts about religion and popular beliefs. And I think I read that book. I was in 7th or 8th standard. I think it is in 78, 79, 80, in that range. So that Gods, Demons and Spirits, one book was there. And later Be Gone, Godmen. These were two books by Abraham Cover. So both of them I read. And later on I came to know Professor Mahesh Nayak. I have not been in a part of the movement as such, but I have been an admirer from a distance. And my views on rationalist issues are more or less similar to what he has been propagating through the association.
About your friends, from schooling days, you must be having real good friends, close friends, who must be still good friends of yours.
Yeah, see, I have had...
you remember some of them?
See, I have many friends. See, I'm basically a friendly person by nature. Very few enemies or such. Hardly any whom I don't get along with. And even then I don't quarrel. I just keep away from if I don't like someone. And but at heart I'm a loner. So I don't really... No, others get close to me, but I really don't open up to anyone. Very few people I open up.
No strings attached, you can say.
Yeah, I'm generally a loner I'm comfortable in my own skin.
Okay.
I don't really need too much closeness with anyone.
So your statement about being a loner gives a full hint. Why you have not got married?
That is a different field.
I'm not going to
It never happened.
I'm not going to rake up that again. You are still lucky, I should say.
I'm still an eligible bachelor.
I say you are still lucky. Compared to us, you are much more happy. Keep it that way. Keep going. Only during your old age, when there is nobody to your rescue, you may feel bit left out.
No, the market is still open.
Yeah. That's all. So let's take it in a lighter way. Let's not go deep into it and rake up that matter. And it's not standard at all. See, everybody need not get married.
No, but generally, I'm happy being alone. Even from childhood, I used to watch movies alone. Even now, I go to restaurants alone. I've heard friends, if they have to go for a movie or restaurant, they can't think. They come and beg me, come with me, because they can't bear sitting in the movie theater alone.
They want to discuss something.
But if you see me in any movie, I'm 90% of the time I'm alone. Even now,
Without
every day, I need minimum alone time. If I'm with many people, if I go for a wedding or a function, I get fully engulfed completely. So I have to withdraw for about 1 hour at least to be normal again. So in a social setting, I'm happy.
I think in that case, you are a
solitude
thinker.
I need in
you
between.
You are a thinker. You keep thinking.
I need breaks in between. I can't have continuous.
Maybe your mental dialogue with yourself. That needs
disrupted.
Yeah. So that's a sign of a creative person. Any other memorable instance you can quote?
Well, only
maybe meeting a celebrity suddenly out of the blues without your knowledge.
Or many like that. I won't document, but Mummy, one of the important, my father I knew only for a brief period of time. So the most peak experience I got was once he brought me in an airplane in just before 3 months before he died. I had been to Bombay in 5th standard holidays. They had packed me off. So I was staying with some relatives there. So he came to pick me up, and he was planning to take the flight back. Those days, flights were very rare.
Yeah.
So I had not dreamed of it also. So he told me we are going tomorrow back to Mangalore. Then I said, when we are going? He said morning flight. I couldn't believe it. Like, no, they are going by a plane. And I had not thought of it also. So next morning I came. I remember the experience still, sitting in the plane, taking off.
Was that Avro or Boeing?
That was a Boeing 737.
737.
In between, it landed in Goa. I remember that entire thing, and that experience. 1:1 talk with my father is my longest. I remember that was very memorable. So within 3 months of that, he passed away. After that, I sat in an airplane after 35 years.
Oh.
I think hardly 10 years back.
Really?
For a long period, I never sat.
Okay. So you have visited any countries abroad?
Yeah, I have been to Dubai once and Kuwait once. Both of them are relating to business.
About travel,
I travel very little. I hate travel. I find it very difficult to even cross Kulur Bridge. My normal range is like an animal has its small range, like my cat. I don't go beyond my cat's territory. If I have to leave town, I have to be really pushed into it. Usually it happens because somebody is getting married or some function is there. I can't avoid it. I go for the minimum period. Like if the wedding is in the afternoon, I go in the morning, catch the same night bus. But I do enjoy travel once I'm outside.
So Bangalore and all, frequently you travel?
Very rare. Recently I had been there to attend a wedding 6 months back. Before that I went 5 years back or something. Very rarely I travel. But now I am planning to slowly, get into I've been into the same rut for many years, only writing, drawing. I'm just looking for avenues Let's see, not now, maybe after some time. These are things I've never done, as I told you.
Yeah.
Maybe I should get out of that mental block, why I can't travel.
No, traveling in the sense you can go to the places like Himachal, Nepal, all these
Any
things,
scenic
you know.
place. I like live nature.
Instead of cities, I'm sure.
I
you're
love
not going
nature,
to-
I love archaeology and historical places.
Okay.
Those are my favorites.
Okay.
Nature or historical places.
Yeah, such places you can visit. You can
Cultural
be solo.
centers.
You can be solo. You'll get friends there. A lot of
Exactly.
people, and you can start vlogging also. Take a small action camera. Go around wherever.
Eventually, I'll do that at
Yeah.
some point.
you
That's
can
something I
record
look
that.
forward
You
to.
can record that. It will be memorable.
I've missed on travel. As you told me,
Yeah.
it is really hitting me. I felt that when you take a tour and come back, you feel
It's
more
really
energized.
refreshing.
And, yeah,
Really
fresh mind.
refreshing. And your mom is still cooking.
Yeah, she's become frail and old, but she's still fond of
How old
cooking.
is she?
She's
85?
about 82 now.
82.
But she's still cooking. I mean, the simpler curries and all, no, which are not strenuous.
But she manages a smile every time I
that
come.
is something.
Yeah,
She's quite optimistic all the time.
She greets me with a broad
She's
smile.
always
and-
optimistic. I've never seen her
Yeah.
being.
I think Manohar had that smile. Same as your mom's. Whatever he expressed, he used to smile.
Yeah, correct.
I think he inherited it from your mother.
Correct.
I have not seen your father, so must be from your mother, that attitude. So great family. Now reduced to a small family, but people are great. That's important.
Thank you.
Yeah. Anything special? Anything you want to show from your
No,
collection?
There is one thing I would like to show you. See, I have a habit of collecting things and collecting old stuff. So right from school, whatever, one sample I'll have. So I used to keep it. I still have a lot of that collection. There's one small box in which I used to put these things. And sometime back in Facebook, I started writing. I found that box and found some interest, like this, my father's first speech.
Yeah.
I collect those things, old things. So I thought some of those juvenile fun cartoons and all that were funny enough, so I started putting it on Facebook. So I called it as the battered shoebox because it was in a box, shoebox. I found out some of these. There was actually a shoebox in which I used to store it. Of course, there are many other shirt boxes and different types of boxes. It's a huge collection. After that, I put up for some time in Facebook. Then I made it into a column in Mangalore Today. I think even in yours, it might be there. Called Batters. I made it into a column.
Yeah, that was an
Battered
article.
Shoebox.
Yeah. It was a column.
It is a column regularly used to write. Now I have discontinued it because I stopped posting on Facebook. I didn't have time because these are all delicate things. You have to search and find something, do a lot of research because I would have forgotten the details. So for temporarily I've suspended it. So that shoebox, unfortunately, what happened was about 3 years back when I had my office in Kodiyalguttu, there was a termite attack. And that box got damaged slightly, so I kept it out in the sun for the termites to go. And the Antony Waste Management people saw it and just took it. There were valuable things in there. Some one or two very personal memorabilia. All that I lost. So that box is no more. But I have another box which I have been using after that. So this is the battered shoe box. This box contains actually, this is also reasonably old. I used to know among the many jack of all trades. I used to love magic.
Okay.
So these are the magic books. I have never shown this to anyone. First time anybody is seeing it. But I put on Facebook once. These are the different books on magic.
Oh, you collected all
magic tricks and all. No? I used to have a lot of these books. So this is the one of the battered boxes. There are many more boxes like that at home. But the one which I spoke about is a real old box. It
you
looks
you still watch
1980s.
movies?
Yeah, I love movies. Mainly I love Hollywood movies. And Hindi mostly. I'm an Amitabh Bachchan fan. So mostly action films. With Amitabh Bachchan I definitely don't
I think
miss.
there is a caricature of Amitabh Bachchan.
Correct. So I definitely don't miss. But even other action films, it should be a little bit action or maybe a little romance or good stories. I would tend to go. But Hindi not much. Nowadays I see Hindi movies have improved a lot.
What about music? You listen to music?
There are two fields which I am almost zero knowledge. That is music and sports.
But Manor was more into music, I think.
Yeah, he used to love
Especially
music.
classical.
But
Classical.
sports and music, I'm almost ignorant. Though nowadays I've taken some interest in music.
So other things, Yakshagana, drama, all these things.
Drama, theatre and all very little. I've acted once or twice in school, but not much. I'm
Drama, I think one female role you have done, right?
Yeah, one
In a
female
drama.
role in a Sanskrit play.
Okay.
But usually, I'm basically a very shy person. I like behind the screens roles rather than.
You have done MC job, I think.
Yeah, but still it is highly stressful compared to writing. Writing is something I love because it's behind the stage.
Yeah.
I do it alone.
Yeah.
Moment I'm standing in front of 1,000 people's crowd, I feel stressed out. But I do it because somehow I'm addicted to speaking. On
But
the other hand,
you have done
any
MC.
performing art.
You have done MC jobs.
Yeah, I've done many, but quiz and all I normally do. But performing arts and all, you expose yourself.
And
to
they invite you to some institutions to give a discourse, lecture and all.
Lectures, talks and all. I do go. But I prefer behind the scene. I'm basically a shy person. So interaction with people gets me stressed out. I need to space it out, and even if I go for a talk, then 2-3 hours I'm off. I won't have the energy level at the same time. If I make a speech or anything, it won't be as easy for as a natural speaker.
Yeah. So we have seen almost everything about.
In fact, I'm so shy. I dread the time when my name is announced, even when you say my name, or on the mic, especially when they introduce me on the stage and tell my name and my biodata. No, I cringe all the time. When will this be over?
So that's Mahesh Nayak for you. So many things he has done, so many things he has achieved, and he says he's not so social, he's introvert, but I don't believe him, because the number of friends he has got and the number of parties he attends. I think he has given me order for food someday, maybe in 2017 or something. I think Praveen Naik's party. Yeah. Then you had come with your friend Abdullah and all those people, right?
Correct.
And taken the food. They used to have a lot of parties then. I don't know about him now, whether he's a party animal anymore.
Now it has reduced a little because after COVID, I don't go out much. My mother is alone.
Yeah.
And I have shifted work from home.
I know.
So I don't go out much at all.
I know. As age catches up, responsibility comes.
Generally, I prefer home
stick
now.
to that. So that's Mahesh Nayak for you. It was nice talking to you, Mahesh. We had a nice time chatting, heart to heart, and you candidly confessed everything today, not only to me, to our viewers. I came to know so many things which I didn't know before. And you always, kept your promise and did the work on time, whatever I asked you to do. may it be ad or any other thing, or maybe articles published in Mangalore Today. You have kept your promise and done that. That's great. I am grateful to you. And thank you for coming today and gracing the occasion, making this Kaapi with Kudpi more colorful and more bright. And being a foodie, you liked our snacks. That is damrot, the sweet, and chole bhatura, the savory snack. And my wife made those bhaturas and coffee. Chole and the sweet I made. So we shared the burden, both of us. So we cooperated and made it a success. And mostly our guest has made it a success because he liked it. The snacks and our chat, it was good. So saying goodbye to Mahesh Nayak now, and looking forward to our next guest in our next episode. Until then, take care folks. Bye for now. Namaste.
Thank you.